You know that feeling when you're watching a game, cheering at every play, and start to notice that something feels slightly off? Like when your friend insists on sticking with a strategy that clearly doesn't work anymore, but won't listen to anyone because, trust me, it'll work? Well, for Golden State Warriors fans, that uneasy feeling has been a constant over the past few months. They have a team that plays beautiful basketball, precise shooting, smart movement, and a chemistry that looks choreographed. But when you look at the starting lineup they used toward the end of last season, it becomes clear that it's not a sustainable model, especially because the team has been leaning heavily on Draymond Green playing center, the big man in the paint, a role that has clearly taken a significant physical toll on him. And that's not an exaggeration. Draymond Green is the kind of player you respect immensely, a true all-around presence on the court, capable of defending multiple positions, organizing the defense, and contributing offensively with passes and shots. But what the Warriors did was ask too much of him, placing him in a role that, over time, began to show clear signs of physical exhaustion. Green's fatigue in the second round of the playoffs against the Minnesota Timberwolves was a wake-up call. Playing as a center against teams with big, strong players every night is not something a 34-year-old can sustain without affecting his performance, his health, and by extension, the entire team. This is the Warriors' crucial dilemma now. Is the small ball style with Draymond at center still viable for future? The answer, which most already know deep down, is no. And the team itself is aware of this, which explains their current push to find solutions that add size and physical strength without sacrificing the agility and versatility that have long defined Golden State. But the lingering question is, how do you do that without compromising the style of play that fans love and that has brought so much success over the years? To understand this better, it's worth looking at the current landscape of the NBA. Modern basketball is evolving into a game where size truly matters. Teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, Cleveland Cavaliers, Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Houston Rockets are deploying big, athletic lineups that can pressure on defense and dominate the paint. This isn't just a passing trend. It's a response to the demands of today's game. In contrast, the Warriors have been going with a smaller approach, using Green at center and trying to compensate with speed and tactical intelligence. But that strategy has clear limitations, and those became very evident in the wear and tear on the roster. Beyond the physical toll on Draymond Green, who isn't just any player, but one of the team's pillars, there's also the financial and contractual challenge. Green has a significant contract, which forces management to be strategic in how they maximize his value on the court, while also preventing him from breaking down prematurely or becoming so worn out that he's no longer effective. Ideally, he would play in a more comfortable position, like power forward, his natural role, where he can better utilize his mobility and defensive skills without being overburdened. For that to happen, the team needs someone who can take on the center role effectively, with athletic ability and versatility that fits the Warriors' style. That's where the name Al Horford comes into play, a player who's been frequently mentioned as a possible solution to Golden State's size problem. At 39 years old, Horford might seem like a player near the end of his career to some, but his experience, basketball IQ, and physical versatility make him a valuable piece. Standing at 6 feet 9 inches, he's not a towering center, but he can play both the 5 and the 4, giving Coach Steve Kerr tactical options. Horford can help protect the paint, while also spacing the floor for the team's shooters, something crucial for the Warriors' style, which heavily depends on floor spacing to generate three-point opportunities. It's important to note that the Warriors' challenge isn't simply to add a big guy to the roster. They need someone who combines size, mobility, and perimeter shooting. A slow or offensively limited center could make things worse, especially since the team already struggles to maintain optimal spacing with players like Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler from another team, but reference in broader league context, and Jonathan Kuminga. Horford, despite his advanced age for a pro athlete, still possesses the movement and skill set to provide that much-needed versatility. Plus, he has experience playing alongside younger bigs like Quentin Post or Tracy Jackson-Davis, which opens up new possibilities for tactical lineups that could catch opponents off guard. If we think back to similar stories, there are teams that had to reinvent themselves when facing physical limitations and aging cores. The post-Bosh Miami Heat and the recent Boston Celtics are examples of teams that lean on experienced players with strong fundamentals and high basketball IQ to remain competitive, even without the athleticism of their earlier years. The Warriors are at a similar crossroads, trying to balance experience, size, and speed to stay relevant in a league that's becoming increasingly physical and demanding. Speaking of experience, Al Horford isn't just a player with long resume of seasons and playoff runs. He's also known for his demeanor on and off the court. The son of former NBA player Tito Horford, Al learned early on the value of basketball as a team game and the importance of reading the floor. That maturity shows in his quiet leadership, which often doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but is vital for team chemistry and cohesion. Draymond Green, though a more fiery and energetic figure, has also shown that he understands his limits and wants to help the team in whatever way possible, even if that means stepping away from a role that's worn him down. The combination of these two players, Green and Horford, brings up a fundamental strategic question for the Warriors. How can they maintain their identity of speed, constant ball movement, and aggressive defense, while also integrating the necessary increase in size and physicality? The answer might lie in Steve Kerr's ability to create flexible lineups that can switch between small ball and double big formations efficiently, without losing rhythm or floor spacing. Horford could be a key piece in that puzzle, anchoring the center spot and freeing Green to return to power forward, where he can maximize his impact with his unique versatility and intelligence. However, this adjustment comes with risks. Horford being 39 means his athleticism and injury resistance aren't what they used to be. It's essential to ensure he can keep up with the fast pace and constant movement to the perimeter that the Warriors style demands. On the flip side, the veteran has already proven, with teams like the Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers that he can remain effective with age, acting as a tactical anchor who holds down the paint and helps organize the defense. A perspective that underscores the urgency of this shift came from former NBA champion Channing Frye, who said on a road trip and podcast that the Warriors might have to blow it up, meaning a full-scale roster overhaul, if they don't solve their size issue. He pointed to the evolution of the league and mentioned several teams now leaning into height to stand out. His comments weren't just a hot take, but an analysis aligned with current market trends and how the NBA is shaping up. Meanwhile, fans in the basketball community remain divided. Some hope the team can fix the problem without disrupting the core too much, preserving the foundation and chemistry already built. Others believe a deeper change is needed, and that the signing of Horford might just be the first step in a broader transformation. Either way, there's consensus that something has to be done to prevent Draymond's wear and a lack of size from becoming insurmountable obstacles. Amid all this debate, it's important to boil things down so the focus isn't lost. The Warriors built a lineup that brought good short-term results, especially over the final 30 games of the last regular season, but it can't handle the grind of a full NBA season anymore. Draymond Green playing center was a temporary fix that's reaching its limit, and the potential addition of Al Horford stands out as a smart move to ease that burden, restore balance, and keep the team competitive. If this adjustment works, the Warriors can stay in the title race. If not, they may need to rethink their strategy altogether. Looking ahead, the big question for the 2025 to 2026 season is whether the team can integrate that missing big man without losing the soul of their fast-paced, team-oriented, high-motion game that fans have come to love. Can veteran Horford help the Warriors make the leap needed to get back to the finals? Can Draymond Green return to a role that protects his body and lets him keep being the heartbeat of the team? Or are we in for a season of highs and lows, constant adjustments, and maybe even major roster shakeups? And what about you? Do you think the Warriors can adapt to this new NBA filled with big, strong teams? Do you believe Horford still has something left in the tank and might be the missing piece? Let us know in the comments, because this conversation is far from over, and your opinion is a vital part of this community that loves deep basketball discussions. In the end, this whole situation feels like a classic dilemma. Try to keep wearing the old jersey that doesn't quite fit anymore, or invest in a new one tailored for the modern game. The Warriors are right at that crossroads. Try to decide whether to stick with what's worked with some tweaks, or to make a bigger shift to stay competitive in the long run. And if you enjoyed this analysis, you know what to do. Hit that like button to support the channel. Share it with your fellow Warriors fans or anyone who loves a good NBA debate. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss any updates. And don't leave just yet, because there's still a lot more content coming, and this Warriors big man storyline is just getting started. Have you ever noticed how the world of basketball is in constant evolution? One day, a team reigns supreme with a winning strategy. The next, that same tactic starts to show its limitations. That's exactly what the Golden State Warriors, one of the NBA's most dominant dynasties in recent years, are experiencing right now. A crucial moment of transition. After years of thriving with fast-paced offense, sharp shooting, and aggressive defense, the team is now facing a dilemma that many fans have noticed: the need to bulk up physically, especially at the center position, to keep up with a league that increasingly values size and strength. And that's where a name emerges as a potential answer: Brook Lopez, the veteran formerly of the Milwaukee Bucks. The possibility of Lopez joining the Warriors isn't just about signing a veteran player. It's a strategic decision that could define the direction of the team over the next few years. He brings a rare combination of skills. He can protect the rim effectively, even if he no longer has the mobility of a younger big man. And at the same time, he's a long-range shooter who can space the floor for his teammates. For a team like the Golden State Warriors, whose success lives and dies by the quality of Stephen Curry's shooting and ball movement, having a center who doesn't clog the paint is essential. Let's dive into the context that brought Lopez onto the Warriors' radar. Last season, the team leaned heavily on Draymond Green to anchor the lineup as their starting center. It's no secret that Green, despite his incredible versatility and basketball IQ, is not a traditional center, and certainly not equipped to hold down that position for an entire season. His physical wear and tear was noticeable, especially in the playoffs, when the intensity ramps up and the body begins to give out. That's exactly why the Warriors are actively seeking reinforcements who can take on the center role more effectively, easing the burden on Green and allowing him to return to power forward, a position where he can leverage his athleticism and court vision without burning out. So why Brook Lopez? First and foremost, the 37-year-old veteran has shown an impressive ability to evolve throughout his career. When he entered the NBA, Lopez was known as a traditional big man, a dominant paint presence who focused on rim protection and scoring near the basket. Over the years, he realized he needed to adapt to stay relevant in a league that had drastically changed, and so he developed his three-point shot, becoming a threat from beyond the arc. Today, Lopez balances those two skill sets with mastery, making him a highly valuable piece for a team like the Warriors, who depend heavily on floor spacing to generate efficient offense. Offensively, Lopez offers the Warriors a key weapon: the pick and pop. This play, where the center sets a screen and then steps out to the three-point line, forces opposing defenses to choose, stay packed in the paint or extend out to contest. That opens up space for drives and shots from guards and wings. With Lopez on perimeter, Stephen Curry could have even more room to attack, and the ball movement could flow more smoothly, creating the kind of looks that have become Golden State's trademark. On defense, Even with limited mobility, Lopez remains a feared shot blocker. His average of 2.4 blocks per game last season shows he knows how to protect the rim with positioning and timing, even if he can't keep up with quicker players on the perimeter. That kind of interior presence is exactly what the Warriors are looking for to balance out their paint vulnerability and ease the pressure on Green, who has been stretched too thin to try to play both power forward and center at the same time. But we can't talk about Lopez without considering the challenges. Golden State's style is notoriously fast, with rapid transitions, constant ball movement, and position switching. Lopez isn't a center who will sprint the floor on fast breaks or defend in quick switching schemes on the perimeter. This means the team will need to adjust some dynamics to get the most out of the veteran, perhaps alternating between smaller, faster lineups and bigger formations that emphasize rim protection. That balance could be the biggest challenge for Coach Steve Kerr, who has a history of tactical creativity, but now must account for roster's physical limitations. Another important factor is the financial and contractual situation. Lopez's salary, around $18 million, is significant but movable, which helps facilitate trade discussions. For the Clippers, the team Lopez was most recently with, this move makes sense. Ivica Zubac has taken over the starting role, and the emergence of young talent like Con Niederhauser has reduced the need for the veteran. Clearing cap space and bringing in reinforcements in other areas could now be a priority for the Clippers, while the Warriors see a chance to land an experienced big who can help immediately. Bringing in Lopez also makes sense as a short-term play for the Warriors. With Stephen Curry still performing at a high level, their championship window is still open, but not forever. Building a balanced roster that can protect the rim, maintain spacing, and survive the rigors of the season is essential to maximizing this era. Lopez, with his championship experience and ability to contribute on both ends of the floor, is exactly the kind of player who could make a real difference. Speaking of experience, we can't overlook the intangible value Lopez brings. He's an NBA champion who understands the pressure of performing at the highest level. His quiet leadership, maturity during tough moments, and ability to be a role model for younger players are qualities that don't show up in stat sheets, but are crucial in the locker room and on the court. In the bigger NBA picture, the Warriors are reflecting a trend we're seeing across the league, balancing speed with size. You can't give up the quick pace and perimeter shooting, but you also can't afford to get dominated in the paint by teams investing in tall, athletic players. That duality makes the Lopez acquisition a strategic move, a practical solution to a very real problem. This debate about the end of small ball has been brewing for a while. Former player and commentator Channing Frye didn't hesitate to say recently that the Warriors might have to blow it up, meaning a complete roster overhaul, if they don't fix their size problem. That shows just how much this issue weighs in expert valuations. Bringing in Lopez, with his unique profile, is a way to avoid that drastic outcome while still strengthening the team intelligently. And there's one more layer to this story. Lopez isn't just another center for the Warriors. He represents a chance to slightly shift the team's identity, to find balance between a modern and a traditional game. The Warriors have always been a team that broke paradigms, challenged conventions, and created a style that revolutionized basketball. Now, with Lopez potentially arriving, they may be signaling a new phase, one where they incorporate size and strength without losing creativity and speed. Of course, the success of this gamble depends on several factors. How will Lopez adapt to the Warriors' fast-paced rhythm? How will Coach Kerr adjust his lineups to maximize the veteran skills without compromising the team's identity? How will the younger players respond to the shift in dynamics? These are questions only the 2025-26 season can answer, but what's certain is that the Warriors are actively trying to stay competitive and maybe even add more titles. For fans, this is an exciting time, full of speculation and anticipation. Will veteran Lopez be the center of the future the Warriors need? Or will the team have to explore even bolder moves to keep up with the rest of the NBA? One thing is clear. The Golden State Warriors aren't going to sit back and wait for things to happen. They're moving pieces on the chessboard, making strategic plays to ensure that the magician Stephen Curry keeps shining and that the team stays on top. And what about you? What do you think of Brook Lopez potentially joining the Warriors? Do you believe he could be the ideal reinforcement, or does his style clash with the team's fast and fluid system? What's your take on the Warriors' strategy of balancing speed with size? Let us know in the comments. We really want to hear your perspective on this pivotal moment in the NBA. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the analysis, news, and debates we bring your way. There's a lot of great content coming, and you won't want to miss out on this conversation. Thanks for watching. See you next time.